Hey, and what's up, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video here on Identity Coach Tim's YouTube channel. Today will be a quick and fast and interesting take on the split self. So that inner internal conflict that you and me, you're watching right now, is experiencing on a day-to-day basis. Did you ever feel like you know exactly what you need to do? You know exactly what needs to happen in order for you to grow, in order for you to start this business, in order for you to make more money, in order for you to find this, better partner, getting rid or not following or falling into the same old negative toxic relationships anymore. You know what you need to do. But for some reason, something inside of you feels like it's pulling you back, it's holding you back. This is not a discipline problem, right? This is an internal conflict problem, one that you have been living with for way too long. And in today's video, we will be talking about how to communicate better with your internal parts, how to create more harmony and resolve this internal conflict that has been bugging you and holding you back, diminishing or holding your potential smaller than it really is supposed to be. So if you're new to this channel right here, this is the Identity Coach Tim's YouTube channel. We talk all things identity work. Me, myself, and I'm identity architect, and I work with people on the identity level, not on the surface pattern, what they see, so the overthinking, the overachieving, right? Because this is everything that we witness within, our human interaction. We think that, we're people pleasers, we're overthinkers, we're kind of getting into the anxiety loop. And that is great, that is true. But this is only the surface, because usually underneath this surface, there is a certain protective logic that is holding everything in place where it is right now. It's exactly the reason why you're not able to get rid of this aspect of you that has been bugging you, the people pleasing, right? Why you can't stop working and why you think that enough is never enough, or why you constantly have to overthink yourself into paralysis and not get anything done in the first place, right? Beyond or below all of this is actually the identity layer. It's your underlying belief systems about who you are, the self-concept, so how you think about yourself and how you believe that other people think about yourself, that has been crafted, the book that has been written by you, by your environment, and by everyone around you that has influenced you since the moment of time, that has brought you now here to kind of live the experience that you are living right now. This internal conflict, right? This internal conflict that is the topic of today is actually the biggest problem every single one of us is dealing with today. We all know, because we're conscious entrepreneurs, right? We are interested in personal development. We have read the books, we have done the courses, we have visited some seminars, we've done Tony Robbins' whole week-long 30-hour, deep dive transformation experiences. Excuse my English for that. We have done it all, seen it all, but for some reason, we seem to still be doing the same things over and over and over again. And this is exactly what today's video is all about, right? So if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, like this video if you like the content that you've been seeing on this channel so far, and, recommend it to people that you want to grow as well. You want, or you think they could be benefiting from this type of, educational video content as well. So let's dive into it. Why you do what you do. This inner tug of war, because this is really what it feels like, right? It feels like one part wants growth, wants to expand, is sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? It doesn't want to be in this place anymore. It wants more financial freedom. It wants more time freedom. It wants more time with your family. It wants to, find finally the right partner, because you've just been circling the same shitty Tinder dates and shitty experiences with men or with women, all over and all over again. And you don't want this anymore, right? You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. This one part of you wants expansion. That's great. That's incredible. That's already the right starting point. But for some reason, something inside of you keeps pulling you back. This inner tug of war, what I call the internal conflict, is actually a conflict of two parts of you that exist within you, that have their purpose and that have their reason for being there. That expansion part of you tackles your human need for growth, for connection, and for love, right? That wants to help you expand. But there's this other part within you that has been trained through negative emotional experiences, evidence in your past where this specific behavior, of keeping small, of not meeting someone healthy, of not trying out to, start your business, not trying to contact more clients, or not taking that leap of faith. Why? Because probably in the past, you've done so and you failed. And it tore you apart. It made you feel so bad, so, you felt so miserable. You felt like, okay, that I'm just not good enough, right? This emotional experience shaped your nervous system in a way that it wants to protect you. It wanted to protect you in that moment from this pain and from this misery, because pain and misery equal danger to your nervous system survival. Every time we have a negative emotion or a negative experience, negative is always, kind of tickling our inner instinct for survival, because usually negative or bad means it could be threatening your existence, your survival, and it doesn't want to happen. That doesn't want that to happen. So in this moment where you failed, or you made a financial loss, or you got cheated on by a partner, got dumped, or something bad happened, that inner trust towards the urge for growth, for love and connection got hurt. So the next best thing that your nervous system does in that moment, it holds on to a different need that can give it more stability. For example, certainty. For example, significance, right? Certainty, because this is basically the security. Everything it wants to do is to feel secure, to feel safe in its environment, to feel comfortable again. So what it did in this moment is, for example, it started playing small. It started to not speak out what it really wanted to say, but rather, apply or abide to or follow or just, compromise your own values and your own needs in order to fit in order to not tickle any conflict in the relationship, right? So all of a sudden, this version of you that maybe was living more authentically in the past, now all of a sudden adapted to its environment because it wanted to avoid pain at all cost. And this is where this inner part of you got created. It is still to this day living an old story of you that was true in the past, that was relevant and important in the past, but that is not relevant and true to the time being. So the story that this part of you is living right now is an outdated version of you that right now is not true anymore. And this is why you have this internal conflict. This is why one part of you wants to grow, but this other part that is still holding on to that old story of you is pulling you back, is keeping you small, is keeping you, neglecting your own values, neglecting your own worth, not doing the right things, keeping you small, playing small, self-sabotaging you, rather instead of working on your business in the evening after work, getting you into, I'm just so tired, let me just watch a Netflix series, and then, the day just goes out. We all know how that goes, right? I've done that more than enough. You've probably done that more than enough. You're probably still doing it right now. For me, my most important process of working with people is to bring awareness, to shed light into the darkness. Because the moment you become aware of your patterns is the moment where you can actually start changing them. The moment you name a problem is the moment where you can actually take its power away and work with the problem itself. Because you have to keep in mind, you will always be bigger than your problems. You, the person that I'm talking to right now, you will always be bigger than your problems. If you keep this in your mind, if you keep repeating this to yourself, I'm always bigger than my problems. I'm always bigger than my problems. Your problems will not become bigger than you because they are inherently just part of you, but they are not bigger than you. They may seem bigger because they trigger some underlying, pain points, beliefs, old stories, old environments, triggers, right? That had their emotional evidence in the past, but you are always bigger than your problems. You can always find a way out of this. So how do we mitigate then? How do we create this harmonious connection or this balance between the two parts so they stop pulling and maybe start leading in one direction or in the other? Very simple. If you want to shed light into a certain topic, start with naming it. Start with writing down, taking out a piece of paper and split it in two, right? Give each part 1 page and then start writing down what this one part wants, what it think it needs, and what its positive intention for you actually is. So it wants, growth, it wants expansion, it wants transformation, it needs moving forward, investing more time, it needs, more inner discipline towards this, it needs more connection and, feeling comfortable with taking that decision. And maybe its positive intention is to help you grow, expand, and not feel these, or not live this version of you anymore that is keeping itself small, that is playing lower than its true power, than its true value. Write that down. Write them down for the other side. What is that inner part of me, or what does this inner part of me want that is protecting me right now? What does it want? What does it need? What is its positive intention? It wants security. It doesn't want to be hurt again. It needs safety. It needs time to validate. It needs time to assess and to analyze. It needs actually, a safe container, maybe some dedicated time, some understanding. Its positive intention is then it wants to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to get hurt. Do you see how now all of a sudden this one part that you wanted to really pressurize and get rid of because it's holding you back, it's holding you smaller than you want to be right now, that this part actually just wanted to protect you, help you, keep you safe? Understanding that this part is actually your friend and not your enemy can already make a huge difference in the way that you work with it, in the way that you look at it and you see it. And this usually lifts already a lot of pressure off. Because most of the time we want to get rid of the things we don't like. That's just our human instinct. Some things that threaten us, we want to kill, we want to eradicate. This is why we are at the top of the food chain, but we're not maybe the smartest beings, right? Because, monks or other animals, they learn how to accept and adapt into the environment that we're in. We as humans, we want to control it. Our ego wants to always be the best, always wants to be at the top of the food chain. There can be nothing else and no one else around. So in the same way as we are treating nature around us, we want to treat ourselves. Things that we don't like, we want to kill, we want to get rid of. But it's actually about the healthy integration of this part into your system, to make it work with you, not against you, to give it light, let it be heard. Let it sit down with this other part and kind of figure out, okay, what can we do? How can we find a middle way of actually making this work? Of providing you with enough safety and enough comfort so you can let go of the rope, but as well giving you the power and the discipline to move forward into a healthier direction. Because the moment, and this is probably the most important part of this entire video, right? The moment you create a positive evidence, a positive experience with enough positive emotional evidence, your old system will start to overwrite itself. Repetition of this specific positive emotional evidence, repeated often enough, will rewrite the entire history of what you believe about yourself. And now all of a sudden, the drive is there. The motivation is there. Things start flowing into the right direction. It all happens because of the integration and the harmonization of those two conflicting parts. So don't get rid, integrate. This is the big idea here behind, and this is what I wanted to convey in this video. So again, this is what identity work is all about. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, if you're interested into this world, into this work and into this world, then I'll have some useful links down below that you can check out. Some identity alignment quizzes that can help you figure out what are your patterns that are keeping you stuck, but as well as some interesting workshops that I've done in the past where you can just learn more from. Because as a coach, what I do, I work with my clients on a one-on-one basis to ignite this inner flame, ignite this inner transformation journey. But if you're not ready yet to, go for that, coaching experience, there's enough information out there and on my YouTube channel here mostly where you can learn already for yourself. If you feel ready though to step up, to take that next step, to take that next leap of faith in your transformational journey, because you want to make more money, you want to lead better conversations, you want to live in a happier and better relationship, this is then the point where to reach out, right? So as well, there you find all links down below. And if you like today's video, like I said, give it a like, subscribe to the platform, and recommend it to people that should listen to it or should hear it, because there's more where this came from, and there's more coming in the future of these specific topics. So comment down below what you want to hear of me in the future, and I'll make sure to integrate that for you as well. So with this being said, this was it from me today for this week. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.